Hi, my little starlights, and yes, I finally came up with a nickname for you guys. It's probably going to change every video, but you'll get the gist of what I'm going for. Now, before this video begins, disclaimer. This video will contain self-mutilation and self-harm. If you feel uncomfortable with this, please click off. And just a quick mention, I do have a Discord server. There will be a link in the comments or the description. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Everyone knew Kojiro Rengoku. He was kind, sincere, hardworking Hashira who worked his way into the hearts of many. He was handsome and elegant despite the so hardly callous that adored his hands like a second skin, and the scars that littered his body. He was able to sway the hearts of many, including your own. You have been a secret admirer for him for a while now, writing him cute little notes and leaving them at his post every sunrise. That always seemed to make the man smile brighter than his charming smile that always held on his lips. You knew this because you overheard him talking about the notes with his fellow Hashira in Missouri. I left to meet my secret admirer one day, he told her. One day. He was always busy, so it became hard to capture his attention, or rather, it was. It felt like a stroke of luck, so strong that you were going to have bad luck for the rest of your life when you twisted your ankle because Kojiro wasn't looking and you tripped. Purposely, yes, you immediately regret it. Your body came crashing onto the forest floor, and the wind inside your basket spilled onto the ground below you. You whined loudly as an instinctive reflex. I'm so sorry. Kojiro shot by your side. Here, I'll grab your things, and I'll escort you to the butterfly estate immediately. I'm so sorry. You were unable to talk from how dazed you were from hitting the forest floor, to the fact that he was so close to you. You stared at him through the blurry eyes as he picked up the long logs of wood and put them back into the basket that was once on your back. He slid his arms into the straps and helped hoist your body against his, wrapping his right arm around your waist while his left arm held onto your right. Stay close, okay? Let me know if I do too much for you. Shinobu revealed the unfortunate news of being bedridden some hours later. Oh, that's awful. He put his right hand over his lips and furrowed his thick eyebrows with worry. His fiery golden eyes looked down at you and caused you to look away before you blush became obvious. I'm so sorry. Listener, was it? He knew your name. I'll make up for it somehow, I promise, he told you. For now, I must go. I have other matters to return to, but I will return every day at the same time until you're better, okay? I took your wood home. He started off the conversation, now he was in the room with you. You live alone, listener? That's one way to put it. Recently, yes, you admitted out loud. My family moved away after I passed the final selection. They couldn't agree on my decision to become a demon slayer. I missed them. You smiled wistfully as you recalled the day that they cast themselves out of their own home. Though Kojiro looked saddened by the answer, he didn't comment on it any further. I brought you your breakfast. Kojiro-san was too busy to bring it herself. He set down the tray on your lap. You cringed at the hot feeling, visible enough to draw his attention. But that might have been simply because he yelped short after. You fought the feeling to reach down and grab at your propped-up spring ankle. As the pain ricocheted through your leg. Oh! He quickly lifted the tray off your legs. To your surprise, he didn't spill any of the contents of the food anywhere around you or on the floor. I'm sorry, was that too hot? He asked, causing you to look up at his face. He was blushing out of embarrassment. He looked so cute. His eyes bulged with worry, and the same saddened frown appeared on his face from moments before. Just a bit. I wasn't expecting it. You chuckled wearily. Sorry, you can put it back down now. You reassured him and gently pat your lap. No, it's fine. I'll hold it. I don't want to put any unnecessary strain on your ankle, Kojiro stated. I'll be fine. I won't leave until I know you've eaten breakfast. A blush spread across their own features. He was a selfless man, and it showed in every action he performed. How could people not fall in love with him? Oh, okay. Your breath was taken away, clearly. He even went through the action of holding the tray out for you so he could eat your food. He looked down on what you had to eat. Miso soup and onigiri. It smelled delicious. The cooks here are fantastic, Kojiro remarked. I'm sure you had to spend a lot of time in here, haven't you? You asked him. Oh, yes. Kojiro nodded his head. If I don't come back from the mission with some type of injury, then something is wrong, he chuckled. How are they? What is it? I was just asking, how are the missions? I haven't been able to go on any. I've been dealing with a lot of training. Master says I'm not ready to go out on my own yet. Kotaro looked more than surprised with that answer. When you live out so far on your own? He furrowed his eyebrows. Are you at least training yourself when you cannot attend daily training sessions? You nodded your head. Of course you tried, but sometimes training could be too far away. You didn't tell him that. You feared that he'll pull something else out of his sleeve and try to. Eat, please? Sorry, he squeaked, and you didn't waste any time digging into your meal. First was the onigiri that seemed to fill you up immediately before biting into the second one. I don't think I can finish these. He looked up at Kotaro. His eyes were already on you, as if he was watching you eat. You didn't think any of it. Would you like one? I'm not sure. I shouldn't, but he trailed off as he thought about it before nodding his head. I haven't ate yet, so watching you eat made me hungry. Never starve yourself, you gently scolded him as you reached down and took the rice ball into your hand to give it to him. You smiled gently at him, until your smile dropped when you realized that you couldn't give it to him. I'm so sorry, he stuttered. It's fine. Just feed me, he spoke casually, much to your surprise. You swallowed thickly, your lips parted to say something, anything, about what he just said, but nothing came out. Your hand indistinctly drifted towards his lips, while his head met you halfway. The bite into the food made you jump, your eyes wide as you were a deer in headlights. You tried not to pay too much attention as you fed him, but it would eventually become apparent that you were embarrassed to do something like this for him. He didn't seem to mind one bit. Maybe he was enjoying it. You have to stop this somehow. Do you think this soup has cooled off enough? Now you can set the tray on my lap? You asked. The onigiri was delicious, and you weren't joking about it possibly taking up all the space in your stomach. But food was food, and you didn't want to get rid of it at all. Kotaro hummed and pressed the tray in his lap. He hovered his right hand over it. It does seem that way. There was a slight hint of disappointment in his voice. Had you been better picking up the fast skates, you would have been able to catch on. Here you go, YN. He sat the tray in your lap, engulfing in the warmth. He took the rice ball from you and continued to chew on it while you dig into the soup. The meal was finished even though you didn't want it to be. It was filled with the eerie silence because you didn't have anything else to say, and Kotaro was, eating. It's a fantastic meal, Kotaro beamed out. I'll make sure to thank them on my way out. Now, he stood up straight. I have to go. Nice eating with you, YN. The two of you were interrupted by the sound of the door opening. You were surprised to see two butterfly attendants making their way into the room with the room service cart. What is this, you asked? I thought Rengoku-san had the breakfast covered for me. I believe there's some sort of mix-up. We just finished making the breakfast 10 minutes ago. But this tray does look like ours. They picked up the tray and observed it. There's no need to conduct an investigation, Kotaro spoke up. I lied about the breakfast to tell you the truth. I'm the one who made that breakfast and hoped we could eat it together. He smiled apologetically and bowed. I'm truly sorry for the confusion I caused, but I must take my leave. I'll see you tomorrow, YN. He wanted to eat with me? Your heart started pounding in your chest and it couldn't stop. You couldn't just believe the words that came out of his mouth. Eat with you? You barely knew each other. Bye, he said weakly as he left the room. If this was going to happen every day, why did it feel too bad after the initial impact? Hours poured into the morning. It felt unusually past the time Kotaro said he was going to show up. Not that you had any way of knowing. Breakfast has already been served, and you were left with the displeasure of eating it all on your own, in the silence of your room. You thought you had been used to the quiet now. After all, you live alone now. But he seemed to dull that pain. Now you miss him. YN-san, are you busy? Shinobu's voice was the break in the thick silence, and very welcome. The presence of another person was soothing. You glanced up from your lap and nodded. Not at all. Please, come in. Shinobu slid the door open and shut it behind her and stepped over towards the bed. She sat down in the bedside chair and elegantly folded her legs on top of one another while she addressed you. There was a warm, inviting smile on her face, much like the one Kotaro held. How are you feeling? I'm feeling all right, you responded. My foot is starting to feel better. I think I'll be able to get back on my feet before this end of the week. At least you hope so. As much as it was nice to have the flame Hashira see in personalized visits, you had a life that you need to live outside these four walls. You're right about that, Shinobu started. But that doesn't mean I want you to start hopping on your feet and walking around one-legged. In order to make a full recovery, you have to stay for another 2 days. Is that fine with you? You winced. 2 more days of staying in this bed? What if Rengoku-san didn't show up again? Was it worth it? That's fine, Yuiko responded. No, it isn't, but did you really have a choice? Not exactly. Thank you, Shinobu stood. With the more important information out the way, I'll allow visitation now. After what happened yesterday involving the mishap with Rengoku-san, I shortened your visitation hours. I didn't like having to dispose of a good meal just because someone wanted to be friendly. There was scorn in her voice. You nodded your head slowly in scorned understanding. I'm sorry about that. You don't have to apologize, Shinobu said. She walked over to the door. Please, be well. After she left, Kojiro emerged from the door. He looked radiant. As usual, like the sun on a beautiful day with clear skies, his smile acted as a ray of sunshine that would blind your eyes. But at least you were welcome with this warmer sunshine. A smile bleed onto your lips as he fully made his way into the room and shut the door behind him. Alone, the two of you. I'm sorry I couldn't make it. He let out a sigh and walked over to the bedside chair. Kojo-san is strict, but with good intentions, he said out loud, as if to convince you of the fact. I know that. I'm still appreciative of what you did for me, even though we might have gotten into trouble. He reached over and gently grabbed his forearm, noticing that he winced from the feeling. Oh, did you just come back from a mission? There must have been a cut under his uniform sleeves. Come to think of it, you could see a faint spot of blood where your hand had pressed against. Does it need to be patched up? He frowned with worry. Oh, no, that's not it. I happened to get into a bit of an accident earlier this morning while I was cutting wood, he explained. I already patched it up. No need to worry. It's just a bit hurt, that's all. He smiled reassuringly. One that nearly melted you. You smiled back at him just as much. I see, he responded. Well, I have exciting news. He perked up. What is it? I'm going to be discharged in 2 days, you told him. You don't have to worry about me anymore. 2 days? Kojiro's face contorted. He looked worried. He was quick to voice his thoughts about the decision. Are you sure that's going to be all you need? I thought sprained ankles need more time to heal. It was so cute. He was so worried about someone he had just met. You found yourself giggling at him. Relax. I felt much more better now than I felt yesterday. If I could, I'll even try getting up and walking around to see how I felt. Being able to walk around would have been a relief. As enjoyable as it sounded before, being bedridden felt much like a nightmare. I definitely don't recommend it, he said, clearly half joking. Please take care of yourself. I have to go now. He rushed to get out of his seat. He stood tall, reaching over to gently pat your head before he half turned to face the door to leave. So soon? He frowned. You are going to be lonely for the rest of the day. Visitation hours were cut short, remember, silly? Kojiro chuckled. I'll try to see you tomorrow and stay longer. He stepped out the door as quickly as he came, leaving you in silence.